baseball, Cardinals and Padres, both teams playing very well. And this one should be a dandy. Jason Marquis against Shelby Miller alongside Mark Grant. I'm Mike Pomeranz in tonight for Dick Enberg. From all of us at Fox Sports San Diego, very heavy hearts tonight as our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Oklahoma City and those in any way connected to those devastating tornadoes there. Baseball, hopefully, tonight will provide some type of diversion for folks. And on the mound, a very good pitching matchup, Jason Marquis, and for the Cardinals, Shelby Miller.
Seems like the St. Louis Cardinals always comes up with some young right-hander, some young left-hander that really pays dividends early in their career. Shelby Miller is only 22 years old, was drafted in 2009. He is a strikeout pitcher. Now, you got to realize last year, only 13 and 2/3 innings pitched at the big league level. The rest, minor leagues. This kid's pitching right now. He's dicing up hitters like he's been pitching in the big leagues for like 8 to 10 years. He's a good young arm for that Redbird ball club.
Probably one of two top rookie right-handers when you consider Matt Harvey for the Mets. Now, offensively, the Padres have been playing very well. 88 runs the last 18 games, right up there with the best in baseball.
Hey, keep it going. And it was a great feeling in the clubhouse, on the field, and after the games when the San Diego Padres beat the Dan Herron yesterday,
right.
And then they scored a lot of runs yesterday, and then you got guys like Jed Jerko, you've got guys like Will Venable, you've got guys like Carlos Quentin, and it's a collective thing. 2-out hits is a big thing, 2-out runs is also, but they're not just relying on one batter in the lineup. If the top of the order Mike isn't doing it, it's the middle of the order. If it's not the middle of the order, well, it's Yonder Alonso doing things with the bat as well. But the 11-7 record, great since April 30th. This ball club, the Padres, can't compete with this Cardinal team. They're playing that well right now, and it's showing.
You got to have very good confidence when you consider that the Washington Nationals coming to town. As you mentioned, you're able to take two from one of the top teams in baseball. Now, the Washington Nationals don't score nearly as often as the Cardinals do, but that's why it's such a beautiful game to watch. When we come back, Jason Marquis, the starter for the Padres, Mike Matheny, the manager for the Cardinals, one of his former teammates, and we'll catch up and get their thoughts in a moment.
up 2 runs on 7 hits and said he did not have his best stuff, but he grinded it out, and that is something Cardinals manager Mike Matheny knows all too well, having caught for Jason in St. Louis in 2004, and he said that's just the kind of competitor he is.
Knew no matter what situation came up, he wasn't going to get rattled. Things got tough, he got tougher. So I think that's just part of who he is, and in making that transition of making a sacrifice in velocity for what's best for the club is kind of pitcher that Jason is.
He called it his New York toughness, and Jason Marquis will certainly need that tonight going up against this tough St. Louis Cardinals lineup. You have it. Marquis facing off against one of the league's top pitchers, and Shelby Miller. We will see what the Padres can do when we come back after the break.
It's gone!
Gorgeous night for baseball in San Diego as the sun sets over the water. Petco Park getting you ready for game 1 of 3 between the St. Louis Cardinals and your hot San Diego Padres. The Cardinals been playing very good baseball. Taking a look at the central standings tonight, they come in at 28-15, does Mike Matheny's team. Cincinnati 2.5 back, as is Pittsburgh has been playing very well, and the Central shakes up in such a way that Matheny feels that if he can maintain some momentum, he says Cincinnati and Pittsburgh might have a tough time keeping pace with his club.
And as far as Mike Matheny is concerned, it doesn't matter where they wear the away grays or the home whites. At home, the Redbirds 14-8, on the road 14-7, and they're just under 500 at 5-4 against the National League West. So, you know, I like the matchups of this 3-game series of the Padres and the Cardinals.
So you got the Cardinals with the best road record in baseball, and the Padres 11-3 in their last 14 home games.
A lot of things have been going right for San Diego. 2-out hits, 2-out runs, good pitching, and look who's leading the charge out there. First guy into the field, number 21, Jason Marquis. You think he wants to get going?
Jason Marquis, the former Cardinal, he is ready to fire around the bases tonight. Umpires will be Bill Miller behind the plate, Ed Hickox at first, Jim Joyce at second base, and Corey Blaser at third. For the Cardinals, courtesy of Hyundai tonight, their lineup will look this way. Matt Carpenter will lead off, play second base. Carlos Beltran, second and right field. Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, Yadier Molina, John Jay, Ty Wigginton, Pete Kozma, and Shelby Miller. Very potent offense, one of the best in baseball to defend against any run scoring, and playing behind Jason Marquis. From left to right tonight, it'll be Carlos Quentin, Will Venable, Kristen Orfia around the horn, Chase Headley, Everett Cabrera, Jed Jerko, Yonder Alonso, and John Baker will catch. Jason Marquis, the former Cardinal, ready to go tonight.
Well, Jason Marquis having difficulty throwing strike one, so that's a big key for the veteran right-hander. Strike one with the sinker or the slider and avoid the walk. The fewer times you can pitch out of the stretch is better for Jason Marquis. And like I said earlier about Jason Marquis, it's that one pitch. He has been around to where he can make that one good pitch to get a grounder and get himself out of a jam.
So, Mark Grant, Mike Pomeranz with you as Dick Enberg enjoys the night off. Kelly Kroll also with us. And Laura McKeeman and Mark Sweeney handling the pre- and post-game chores tonight. Jason Marquis, his last 3 outings, boy, he has been so good.
Gutsy. Right?
Yeah, in a word.
A bulldog.
Gritty guy.
There, trying to find that release point. And I talked to Jason in between starts, and he said he just doesn't feel like he's really getting through his pitches. One thing to keep an eye on tonight, especially against righties, if he can go away consistently on the outside part of the plate, down and away. So what does that mean to lefties? Down and into the lefties. That part of the plate, he really needs to master to get that pitch down there.
We'll keep an eye on all that for you. 4 in a row Jason has won, and his record, again, 5-2. Same record he has in his career against the Cardinals, also 5-2. And he'll be working to Matt Carpenter to lead things off.
You know, Jason, this year, 2013, this is really kind of a misleading stat. 5 starts with at least 4 walks, but he's 3-1 with 1 no decision. What's that tell you? He's making big pitches when he really needs to.
And no sooner do you mention you want to see Marquis get ahead from strike one. He falls behind the first of their game. 1 ball, no strikes. Matt Carpenter hitting .296, 3 home runs, and 14 RBIs.
You know, one thing we've talked about Jason Marquis also is that his ball moves so much that he has the luxury of pounding the middle of the plate, knee high, or just maybe a baseball or 2 above the knees, and that ball will dart and work to his advantage.
Quickly behind Carpenter, 3-0 as Carlos Beltran waits on deck.
See where he started that baseball on the inside part of the plate and ended up during the heart of the plate. Of course, taking here 3-0.
Buddy Black like to see his team maintain the momentum they've created, scoring those 88 runs in the last 18 games. As Jason walks the first hitter of the game, Matt Carpenter aboard with a base on balls.
Well, Matt Carpenter's been doing a fine job in that leadoff position and setting up. When you got a veteran like Carlos Beltran coming up, you know, Mike Matheny can do so many things well with Beltran at the plate. Veteran hitter, uses the whole field.
Seven-time All-Star is Beltran.
You know, the one thing we could look at in this series, Mike, is the Cardinals. They are a team that they don't run a lot. They are not going to be running. They are not the flying Cardinals like back in the 80s.
No Vince
Tommy
Coleman
Hurd, Vince Coleman, and, you know, Lou Brock going that back even further. 3 guys are tied in the stolen base department with 3.
A little bit of a laugh thinking of Everett Cabrera, 18 on his own, leading Major League Baseball.
You know, this is one of those situations, danger zone. 2-0 count to Beltran. It's definitely a fastball count. See if Jason Marquis can make a quality pitch, get a grounder. Got a call there.
Battles back 2-1. Beltran, a .297 hitter from the left side. A lot of room to the right as Alonso will hold on the runner.
That's where Jason Marquis needs to be. Take a look at defense going the opposite way against Beltran.
Beltran belts this one, and Jerko quickly flips to Cabrera, and just like that, a double play. You like that, don't you,
Make it a
Grant?
quality pitch when he really needs to, and making his infielders work. Jerko to Cabrera, Cabrera to Jerko, no matter which way you draw it up. Plenty of time to get Beltran, who does not run well, and it's that one quality pitch that gets 2 outs.
Always good to have a little something special in your tackle box, and Jason Marquis certainly has found that this season. 2 down. Here's Matt Holliday. Holliday will bounce this one up the middle. Jerko gloves it. And that'll do it for the Cardinals. When we come back in the home half of the first, Everett Cabrera, Will Venable, and Chase Headley. Here to come up here in the home half of the first inning. Here's your Padre lineup, brought to you tonight by Toyota. Everett Cabrera will take his usual place in the lineup, batting first and playing shortstop. Then Will Venable, Chase Headley, Carlos Quinton, Yonder Alonso, Jed Jerko, Kristen Orfia, John Baker will catch tonight, and Jason Marquis will pitch and hit ninth. Cardinals defense brought to you by Hyundai will be Holliday in left, Jay in center, Beltran in right, Ty Wigginton at third, Cosma, Carpenter, Craig, and Yadier Molina catching Shelby Miller.
Well, young right-hander, 22 years old. This kid's a good one. He's a strikeout pitcher all through his professional career in the minor leagues. More strikeouts than innings pitched. So with that said, you got to try to put the ball in play early. If you get an early fastball, you got to start hacking, and I think that's been the game plan for this Padre team when they've pitched or when they've hit against pitchers who are of the strikeout variety.
It's a microscopic 1.4 earned run average.
He throws a fastball, a curveball, a changeup. You can get that fastball anywhere from 90 to 97. He'll change speeds on that fastball.
So Everett Cabrera leads off for a Padre offense that has been red hot. 88 runs scored in the last 18 games. That's second in the National League. As I speak, Everett Cabrera leads off with a rocket base hit.
It is so key for Everett Cabrera to get on base. We all know about the stolen bases, but also Shelby Miller very slow to the plate. And as we take a look at the NL West, hey, just worry about tonight. Only 4.5 games behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. Very tight, very tight. Diamondbacks, Rockies, Giants.
Be nice for the Padres too. Get a chance to beat up on the Diamondbacks after this St. Louis series. Pick up a little ground, be fantastic.
Well, how pretty was that at that swing, taking Shelby Miller the opposite way. Have to see how many lefties go to left center field and righties go to right center field as Everett puts on that little protector for when he slides for his next stolen base.
There's Will Venable. 6 home runs on the year, 5 of them here at Petco, 1 of them last night. Yesterday, I should say, and a big win over the Nationals. Two for 5 yesterday. Venable had himself a double. That home run. 13-4 the final yesterday against Washington. If you think for a second Everett Cabrera won't pick your pocket, he'll certainly take the bag. Everett Cabrera leading the National League baseball. 18 steals. Gene Segura, who we saw before, still at 14.
Sure. We've got some darn good young shortstops we've seen recently.
And he's off to the races. This one batted up the box, and Shelby Miller only has 1 play. He'll retire Venable for the first out of the inning.
I think he had that bag stolen. Shelby Miller slow to the plate. He was off and running. Good jump. Will got a fastball. He just got jammed a little bit, staying out of the double play. And I know I told this to you guys when we were going over pick the stick. I think there's your representative in the All-Star game. That's just a fan speaking. Everett Cabrera.
I don't think it's a reach. Look, his defense has improved 3 years on the year.
He's got to be top 3-4 shortstops in the National League, I think. Defensively.
Really evolved. Here's Chase Headley. 288, 4 home runs, 13 runs driven in.
Hey, now remember, Cabrera's stolen third as well, right? Big leg kick from Shelby Miller. You look at Ty Wigginton over at third base. He's playing well off the bag. Will he try to steal? Highly doubtful, but because he's going to score on a base hit anyway. Outfield kind of playing on the deep side right now.
San Diego's really picked up its game, Mark, with those runners in scoring position. Yesterday, 7 for 16. You tack up 13 runs, and that National Series hitting 10 of drew in 10 out of 37 opportunities. So hitting the ball, runners on the bags that matter.
I just see these Padre hitters not panicking at the plate. It's almost like, I don't want to say that, well, yeah, it would be a mind game to where, you know, Chase Headley right now saying, you know what, Shelby Miller, the pressure's on you. You've got to come to me. I just haven't really seen much panic in the Padre hitters in situations like this.
So Miller battling his command a little bit early. Hopefully play that to the Padres' advantage. Now, Mark, you were talking about the fact that Shelby Miller, while many facets of his game are clearly evolving, he does not hold anybody close. 7 of 8 attempted base stealers have made it.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's long to the plate. Oh, a lot of fastballs from Shelby Miller. And you know what? With the way that the Padres beat the Nationals and Jordan Zimmerman, with the way they beat Dan Herron, this team right now believes that they can beat any pitcher. I don't care if the guy's got a 1.4 ERA. You string together a couple hits, an extra base hit here, take your chances.
Headley wraps a full count, pitch to right field, and here comes Cabrera. He'll score easily, and the Padres get on the board first.
Love the pitcher-hitter fight, and it all starts with a fastball down and away. Now keep that in mind. Shelby Miller likes to throw the fastball. 2 fastballs, 3. He's challenging the silver slugging hitting third baseman. Again misses, and you know what? One too many times. Goes to the well, four-seam fastball down. Look at Chase Headley getting that head of the bat out there, hooking that ball to the right side. RBI single for the Padre third sacker.
Carlos Quinning hitting 184 on the season, 4 homers.
You know, that tells you something. The way Chase Headley swung that bat on that and pulled it, went down and got one, down and away, and pulled it with some authority. That wasn't like an 18 hopper to the right side. That ball was hit sharply.
Chase has really tuned up that aggression a bit. Early in the year last year, maybe more likely to try to draw a walk there. Picked it up, obviously, second half. And
you know what I think?
A little snap over.
I think it would be fair to say one of the things that Chase Headley changing his game plan at the plate, he's not afraid to strike out now. And being a little bit more aggressive.
You know, it's an interesting point because they're always talking about the value of strikeouts, whether they're overrated. Well, Mark Sweeney will tell you, he feels like if you're putting up runs, if you're a run producer, might be an overrated stat. Here's Carlos Quentin with an out. Chance to do a little damage. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to see Carlos get himself on track. Not too many guys in baseball work harder than Carlos Quentin.
Well, when he squares it up, the ball can go a long way. He can drive it to the opposite field. Shelby Miller trying to go down and away there quickly ahead 0-2. That's another good sign for the Padres. In the 8 starts prior to this one for Miller, he's only given up 1 run in the first inning in 8 starts. And the Padres just put up a toothpick so far here in the first.
First round pick for the Cardinals in 2009 was Miller. Ball and 2 strikes to Quentin.
That's where, as a pitcher, follow through, throw it to the backstop. Seriously.
Well, you don't want to stop, right? Get hurt.
You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to tweak something. That was something that was taught to me a long time ago, and you hear it quite a bit. And I know it's hard to do, but carry on with your pitch. Throw it to the backstop. Don't give the hitter, what you're going to throw is what I'm saying. You're not going to throw a curveball, obviously, but throw it to the top of the screen and regroup after that.
That 5-2 record is one thing, but a 1.4 earned run average and more than a strikeout mark per inning. It's a big arm, strong kid.
Yeah. And how about the hits to innings pitched? Fewer hits than innings pitched. 33 hits and 51 in the third. Padres already have 2 hits and a run here in the bottom of the first. They had him 0-2, remember. Now it's even at 2-2. A lot of fastballs from Miller.
You made a good point earlier, too, about stats really don't matter when you're playing well. You fixate on minutia,
Sure.
I would imagine, if you're struggling, you're looking for any answer. But Padres feel confident they should. They've been playing good baseball.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with winning ugly, right?
Counts the same in the W column, right? Counts even to Quentin.
He's got to think right center here.
Lifts this one to Jay in center. Two are down.
When you look at this Cardinal team defensively, they have 16 miscues on the year, and that ranks up there. That's second fewest errors in the National League. If it's hit to them, they'll catch it, but they really don't have the best range, if that makes any sense. I know that's kind of hard to, but if it's hit right at them, they got it. They're going to make the play. But as far as range is concerned, that's another issue.
Here's Yonder Alonso with 2 outs, as Miller will keep Headley close. Alonso hitting .289 coming in today. 6 home runs. Team leading 26 runs driven in.
You know what just occurred to me, Mike, as we take a look at yesterday, is Yonder Alonso turning on the fastball. A lot of fastballs from Shelby Miller, and that was my point. If he can get something here, he could still turn on the fastball the inside part of the plate. Looks like Miller's trying to pitch lefties away, and he could do some damage that way as well. But this is an interesting matchup. Good layoff there.
And we'll talk to Mark Sweeney a little later in the ballgame, but he's made the point now how he's been so impressed with the way Yonder Alonso has been driving the ball to left field, saying, the home runs for him are going to come.
Sure.
As long as he doesn't try too hard to pull the ball, and he's found a groove recently.
Yeah, that pitch count is getting up there too. 21 tosses for Shelby Miller.
If he's had a problem this year, Mike Matheny said that has been it.
The pitch count.
The pitch count. He can't get deep into the ball games.
Yeah, strikeouts, right? They rack up the pitch count, foul balls.
Yonder.
Jason Marquis got himself a run of support. The way Jason's been throwing. Sure like to get him as many as you can.
Sure.
I mean, he won't mind seeing a 13 spot like yesterday, but he's been throwing well enough to hold a lead.
A lot of long sets from Miller.
Ball bounce to the shortstop, Cosma. He'll go to first, and that will do it for the Padres into first, but not before they get on the board, as young Shelby Miller delivers a pitch Chase Headley can handle, drives in Everett Cabrera, 1-0 San Diego. Sun setting on a lovely night in San Diego. So appreciative that you took some time to join us tonight. Mark Grant, Mike Pomeranz with you. Dick Enberg has the night off. Cardinals and Padres, game one of a 3-game set. Padres lead this one on a first inning RBI by Chase Headley after a leadoff single by Everett Cabrera. Alan Craig, first hitter of the second inning, to face Jason Marquis. Craig hitting .312, a couple of home runs and 30 RBIs.
Did you see the movement on that fastball?
That's like that one?
If Jason Marquis can find that groove and just pound that two-seamer, you're going to get a lot of swings and misses like that. And the downside of that, though, is a lot of toppers down the third base line when you got a nasty sinker baller like that. A lot of infield hits.
Jerko, one down.
Think grounders. We all have to think grounders. Two-seamer, you can see the rotation there, and all of a sudden that ball just drops off the table, hence off the end of the bat. And Alan Craig can go back to the dugout. The 4-3 play.
Here's Yadier Molina. Hitting .333. Couple of home runs, 20 RBIs. This Cardinal lineup has 5 men in it tonight with 20-plus runs driven in.
You know, there are catchers who are known for their leather behind the plate calling the game, and then there are teams that they have that guy, and they, don't worry about hitting. If you hit 240 or whatever, your job is to take care of the pitching staff. This guy is the whole package. Smart hitter, knows the strike zone, calls a great game, great behind the plate. I mean, the Cardinals have the best of both worlds in this catcher.
You ever heard of a platinum gold glove?
It's
It's called a platinum glove. You heard of
Really?
that? It's been in league existence now for 2 seasons. Once they take all the gold glove winners.
Also, the winner of the winners?
That's right. They select the best fielder of the bunch. There have been 2.
This is one guy. And this is the second guy.
You got it. You're looking at it. How about that?
That's something.
The best of the best. But you put that great defense in combination with Shelby Miller, who, as you mentioned, is not exactly quick to the plate. And Everett Cabrera.
Exactly.
Will Venable, Chase Headley, whomever. You got a shot. Steal a few bags. First base umpire Ed Hickok says no. Crowd disagrees. Let's take a look.
One of the few sliders that Marquis has thrown in. Oh, my goodness gracious. If he hits it, it's a double. He definitely goes. And I'm not just saying, I'd say that if it was a Padre guy. He went.
Full count.
Get back to the slider.
So Yadier Molina will draw the second walk of the game issued by Jason Marquis. And that'll bring up John Jay. Jay hitting .279, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs. Padres turned a nice double play in the first. Infield at double play depth, of course.
Hey, Jason Marquis, I say stick to that number 1, down and away. If you're getting the call, go right back out there. There you go. Hey, if you're more consistently doing that, you take a look at the middle infielders going double play depth. Oh, yeah. Roll another grounder, Jason Marquis. Get out of this little jam here. You're going to eventually get that call if you keep pounding it consistently.
He's been so much fun to watch. You hear fans talk about it all the time with, expectations from him, but he finds a way to make a big pitch.
See how he gets out in front and that rotation on the 2-seamer. It's better if it's like on the clock. Very rarely do you see 12 to 6 like a curveball because, staying behind the ball. It's going to be like, 2 to 8. But you pronate as a pitcher, you pronate moving in. And that's how you get that movement on the 2-seamer.
The Cardinals have bounced into 39 double plays. Let's keep our fingers crossed for one more here.
Talk about the 2-seam fastball. 2 seams. That's a shocker, me dropping a baseball. Right there, and then you see Jason. Ideally, you want to stay on top of the baseball. Well, really, guys don't have a tendency to do that because we just saw it. You'll work this way, but you'll pronate in like that, and then every pitcher does it, and that's what causes the spin. And then you see the breakdown and away from the lefties.
Jay lines a single to right. Back to that 2-seamer though, Mark. If what you're doing is rotating inward with your fingers, would it matter if you threw it 4-seam?
Same thing, Mike. You still pronate on the 4-seamer, and that was a split finger from Jason Marquis left up. You can see John Jay catching it out in front. You can call it a changeup. You can call it whatever you like. It's an off-speed pitch. The split, you can see the rotation out of that one. Just elevate it a little bit. Yeah, but same thing to answer your question on the four-seamer. You're still going to pronate, but because of the way the seams are going, you're not going to get that true sinker action. It's going to be more of a straight pitch than the two-seam action down and away to a lefty.
Ty Wigginton. As his Cardinal team wins and puts up big numbers offensively, Wigginton may be the one guy in the lineup really struggling, hitting .207 in 22 games.
Ty Wigginton, the pride and joy of Chula Vista High School right here in San Diego. Played baseball and football there.
Lift this one, right field. Northfield back. And Molina will advance. John Jay will stay put at first.
His first fly ball of the game, is it not? Off the bat of Jason Marquis for an out.
It's not easy to do off of Jason.
No, to elevate something out of the hand. Yeah, there's two-seam action again. Well, he kind of inside outs that one, Wigginton does, and elevates it to the outfield.
Here's a Cardinal shortstop, Pete Kozma. 266, a home run, 17 runs driven in, but
pretty solid shortstop, but not as good as our guy.
No, I like our guy. Kozma, though, hitting .378 with runners in scoring position. If you're just joining us and you've missed some of the news today, you know a little bit perhaps about those deadly tornadoes in Oklahoma. Oklahoma City today, 51 reported dead. Our thoughts and prayers with all of those affected. Pete Kozma's family from Oklahoma, as is Matt Holliday's. Ball and a strike, 2 outs.
You know, one of the strengths, take a look at Wigginton on the left and Matt Holliday on the right. That's been one of the common themes for this Cardinal team, runners in scoring position and with 2 outs. They've been tough in those categories. Hey, when in doubt, call time, right? You don't want to take any chances. John Baker, he was, flashing some signs. Jason Marquis was kind of unsure of himself. John Baker put his hands up. Time called.
You want to think it through. Cardinals as a team hitting over .330 with runners in scoring position. Yeah. You want to make sure you know what you're going to go with. I never quite figured that out as a minor league pitcher.
What was that?
Got to get guys out, first of all. Especially with runners in scoring position.
It's tougher than you think. Pretty good pitch. This is where, as a pitcher, you really have to think down in the zone. 3-1, fastball count. Hey, if you walk him, you walk him.
And he does. Well, you get an opportunity to face the pitcher. Not that you ever want to face anybody with bases loaded, protecting that one
or
run
anybody
lead.
with a bat in their hand. That's the way I always looked at it. You got to pitch everybody as if they're the cleanup hitter in any lineup. Career only hitting 105 for Shelby Miller.
Doesn't have a hit this season. We'd like to keep it that way. So here's what we're used to seeing a little bit with Jason is he'll occasionally battle himself, but he's so confident and so seasoned, he doesn't seem to mind tweaking his game as it goes along.
The one thing that Jason doesn't want to do is start thinking out there. If he could throw one quality That was a good one there. That's, you know, that it might be that pitch there that gets him through the rest of this inning. He stays pretty erect up there as he goes towards the plate. Short stride. So sometimes he says when he kind of hunches over a little bit too much, that's when he runs into trouble and his arm starts to drag. That was good there as well. See how he stayed over the rubber there, and as soon as the ball came out of the glove, then he starts to go towards home plate. His arm catches up, and that's when he really stays on top of that sinker, and it gets that good movement.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Miller, 2 outs, bases loaded. And Miller bounces one to Headley, who bobbles it, can't find the handle. And the Cardinals tie the game at 1.
Oh, Chase Headley tries to backhand that one and then cannot find the handle. Very makeable play, a play that's got to be made. Chase would be the first one to say that, and the Cardinals prolong the inning.
That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Matt Carpenter. Carpenter walked in the first.
So that's the thing. Now you flip the lineup, top of the order. Bases loaded. Still.
800 career hitter. This looks like a typo.
I'd like to know how many at-bats that is. There you go. Well, infield pretty much straight away. Outfield the shade towards the shortstop side of second base.
Cardinals hitting .343 mark as a team with the bases loaded. Jason Marquis with a good chance to spoil that number. 0 for 2 or 0 and 2, and throws a pitch he believes he likes, but Bill Miller thinks otherwise. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded.
Split. Good job by John Baker. Now that's one of those pitches where you really don't know which way it's going to break, and sometimes it could come out funky out of your hand and bounce it just like he did. He was set up away, had to direct himself to his right. Chalk up a glove save for John Baker, saving a run.
Really nicely done. 2s across the board right now. And the count goes full.
That's a workout, folks. 32 pitches in this inning.
.43 total. Let's get out of here at 44. The runners go, and he does that. Matt Carpenter punches out, but the Cardinals get on the board. This one's tied at 1. Hot Jed Jerko will lead off next.
Second, as Jed Jerko steps to the plate for the first time this evening, and what a month for the rookie, hitting .310 with 4 home runs. And when I asked him what the biggest difference has been, he said, you know what, I haven't changed anything in my swing. It's all about my timing. I'm getting my foot down, the barrel out in front of me, and he said that's allowed him to hit the ball with more authority. And certainly we can see that all coming into sync for number 9, can't we, guys?
Oh yeah, he's been just fantastic. You can see that home run there. He's 5 for 15 in that Washington series, Mark.
Hey, Jed Jerko is going to be the type of player to where with more repetitions, more at-bats, sure, he's going to have peaks and valleys, but over the long haul, I think it's going to be more peaks. I mean, this is a kid who, if he was struggling at backgammon, the more he played, he'd probably end up champion. A game of jacks in the backyard, this kid would be tough to beat. Probably struggle at first, but in the long run, he's going to be the jacks champion.
Well, they told us in spring training, the jacks champion. Nice. You play with brothers, you know, he grows up with brothers. You're used to, you know, you got to hold your own or you end up off in the corner by yourself. And Jed hanging tough. He'll fan this one to right field down the line, and Beltran will give it a look. Foul. Time for our Wendy's Now That's Better. Look at some of the numbers. Jed Jerko at home and on the road. Loves Petco, doesn't he?
Yeah, those road numbers will pick up. I mean, you know, the kid's only been in the big leagues a month and a half, right?
It's taking him so long.
Hey, that's better, but also that's some kind of nice. Yeah. At home.
Raking.
And the numbers will get better on the road. You know, that's one of those statistics. I've asked guys like Tony Gwynn. I've asked guys like Buddy Black that played and watched a heck of a lot more baseball than I have. And you know what? There's a lot of people, 99.9% of the people say, you know what, I can't answer that. They want to know why. They can't answer it. It's the biggest conundrum out there.
Biggest word you've used tonight. Jed Jerko swings through a high fastball from Miller for the first out of the inning. That was hot gas.
Shelby Miller going up the ladder by design. Hey, Mike, do you feel that when you see these young pitchers that we've seen recently, and maybe it's just me, it seems like when we've seen them, much more mature, as if they've been in the league a lot longer than they really have been.
Like a guy like Matt Harvey.
Yes, exactly.
Obviously Strasburg.
He's just poised on the mound, and you know, the way they handle themselves.
I mean, some of these guys who are reaching the big leagues so quickly now, I mean, they're getting so much quality coaching at the amateur level that a lot of fellows 15, 20 years ago when we played.
Hey, the coaching's a lot different these days. A lot different.
Here's Chris Denorfia, 287, couple of home runs, 13 runs driven in.
You know, with the technology these days, video. I remember. I mean, you remember in the minor leagues? Did you ever have video in the minor leagues?
Never.
Good curveball at 79.
Good chance to take a look at a few pitches. Miller now at 33 thrown for the evening, and as we mentioned, if there's a flaw in Shelby's game, it's that he does throw a lot of pitches. Wraps this one through the third baseman, Wigginton, and Denorfia is aboard with the base hit.
Hey, just putting the ball in play, right? Avoiding the strikeout. Another breaky ball. Denorfia kind of opens up a little bit out in front, but finds the hole.
Well, how much fun has he been to watch? Dino this season.
Blue collar, run through a wall for you, right? Using the whole field. Run into one once in a while.
But he gets to hit a guy like this seventh. Bring up John Baker. As Dino gets back in plenty of time.
I'll take 9 Chris Denorfias with that, you know, heart and attitude, right?
Gamer.
And you know, it's fair to say there's a I might be saying that knowing that that's already the case. with this Padre team.
That's a good point.
How about John Baker rocking the stirrups? Thank you very much, John. That is such a great look. The high pants, the traditional stirrups, showing a little white sanitary. Yes. Old school.
If there's a style horse on this team, it's
the
him.
best.
Yeah, he's the guy. Gets on a plane with an ascot. He's the man. John Baker, a couple of hits in that Washington series as well, so he's starting to pick it up a little bit.
And he knows he's going to get some fastballs here against Shelby, right? I mean, think about it. If you're in Shelby Miller's shoes, first of all, it'd probably be a little tight. But, you know, you're batting eighth, your backup catcher. Shelby's thinking, you know, I'm going to go right after this guy. So John Baker's thinking, if I can get a fastball, put a good swing on it, it might do some damage.
Got a good count, favorable. 2-0. 1 out. 1 on.
Another fastball.
I was talking to Andrew Kashner before the game, and he works out with Shelby Miller in the offseason. They're from similar towns in Texas. Says he will. He'll just go straight off the heater, live on the fastball. He said he's actually a lot like himself.
Right.
Fastball big and strong, and fastball command is paramount. Kashner having himself a nice start to the year. And you'd made the point earlier about Shelby Miller's effectiveness in the minor leagues and how many hitters he has struck out there. 29% of all the hitters he faced, he struck out. 2-2, 1 out, 1 on, tie ball game. Just gets the outside corner off speed. Shelby Miller punches out John Baker.
Well, after a heavy dose of fastballs, he puts a wrinkle in one for the strikeout. Now it's time for our game plan presented by Farmers Insurance. Hey, get into the pen early. We talked about the starting rotation for the St. Louis Cardinal baseball team, and they're a good one. And the numbers prove it for Shelby Miller. But as far as collectively for the St. Louis Cardinals, a 4.55 ERA. That's 13th in the National League. See if they can get into the bullpen early. We are Farmers. Bump it up, bump, up, bump.
Jason Marquis with a chance to help himself out. 201 hitter in his career, but last season hit 281.
That's swinging the shillelagh now. Oh, he takes pride in his hitting.
And there goes DeNorfia, and he'll get in under the tag of Cosma. And you've said it before, running on Yadier Molina is not easy, but you get a little help from a slower Shelby Miller. Chris DeNorfia picks up a stolen base.
Hey, remember, we had Dave Roberts as our guest on the pregame show, and he talked about stealing bases, and he said it just doesn't necessarily have to be Venable. It doesn't have to be Cabrera. It can be Headley. It can be DeNorfia. They pick a good spot there, and they ran on a pretty darn good catcher.
That's DeNorfia's 5th base of the season. Worth taking a shot with 2 outs. Tie ball game early. Runner in scoring position now.
And a pitcher who can swing the bat well, make contact. It's all about making contact. Avoid the punch out.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And Marquis will pull this one to Alan Craig, who will take it himself. And that will do it for the Padres in their half of the second. Beltran and Holiday coming up. Padres baseball on Fox Sports San Diego is brought to you by California Department of Public Health. For free help to quit smoking, call 1-800-NO-BUTTS. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. And by GMC. We are professional grade. You have to feel lucky to live here. Is that gorgeous?
When's the last time you brought the family out to see the sunset? Well,
Take them out to the front porch every day, but I don't live on the water.
Actually, the sun doesn't set, the earth rotates. So just let you know.
Read the science book again, didn't you, on the flight? I knew it. Jason Marquis against Carlos Beltran in the Cardinal half of the third inning.
Needs a quick inning. He kind of struggled in that first inning, but got the ground ball double play. Faced 7 hitters in the second. Be nice to have a quick one here.
Beltran has other ideas as he'll lace this ball into left center field. Nice spin and throw by Will Venable, but it's not in time to get Carlos Beltran, who is in easily with a double.
Well, it's pretty much been the trademark his whole career. Using the whole field, hitting the ball solidly on the line. Just an all-around good hitter. Well, his swing is just so easy and effortless. We talk about pitchers being effortless and throwing mid-90s. That's an effortless swing by Carlos Beltran. Mark Sweeney is with us down by the San Diego Padres dugout. And Mark, elaborate on that sweet swing from Carlos Beltran.
Yeah, just the rhythm and timing of Carlos Beltran. You can see that ease swing.
Well, their easy swing there, too. Matt Holliday, he'll rip a single to left, and that'll put Beltran at third, and runners at the corners for the Cardinals.
And you know what, guys? When I look at Matt Holliday over the course of his career, you talk about players who square up baseballs consistently. I tell you what, he's one of the guys in both the American and National League that I think every time, the majority of the time, he hits the balls more solidly than any other player. Like he and Giancarlo Stanton.
He comes into this.
They hit the ball hard.
Yeah, they're big league hitters do it, right?
In fact, I think Stanton and Holliday are number 1 and 2 as far as when they talk about bat speed and the ball off the bat. Those are your number 1 and 2 guys.
Here's Alan Craig. Holliday hitting .444 with runners in scoring position going into tonight. And then you look at the top of the board. Carlos Beltran, .448. As a team, .335. So, Jason Marquis, his work cut out for him. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. Infield at double play depth. And this one will go to Jerko. He'll go to Cabrera for one. Back to Alonso, and they will go 4-6-3 for the double play, but Carlos Beltran will score, and the Cardinals are up 2-1.
Hey, Jason Marquis will gladly get that ground ball double play and give the Cardinals a run. You betcha. Set up away. It was a slider, and that's exactly where Alan Craig hits it. Good turn. Watch Cabrera do the dance.
Jerko and Cabrera getting nice and comfortable up the middle.
So no RBI for Alan Craig on the double play.
Here's Yadier Molina. Walked in the second. Sweens, we see a couple of double plays here early, and I know you've really enjoyed watching Jed Jerko and Everett Cabrera develop that all-important chemistry.
Yeah, Mike, I think that is one of the biggest things, and it's a surprising thing, too, because they've done it in such a short time. Yes, they had spring training together, but they look very comfortable in the middle of the diamond. A nice turn by Jed Jerko there. Looked very comfortable rotating his hips and giving a good strike to second base.
Yeah, and think about it. Back in spring training, I mean, these guys, you know, grounders in the morning when nobody's at the ballpark, hundreds of grounders. Turn in double plays. Every certain situation that you can think of. Getting familiar with the target. Getting familiar with their type of style of throw. Arm angle. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here, guys, that they have to get familiar with.
I'll throw this into the equation. Jed Jerko was playing third for part of the year. after being asked to work all winter at second. So, you know, tip of the cap to Jed for working so hard to become a major league second baseman and making the adjustment early on and settling in now.
Hey, think of you and Mark Sweeney. You guys didn't know each other from Adam a year ago. And what, after like
year and a half?
You finally got it after like 195 games?
Learn a lot from the mistakes we make, don't we, Marky?
I'm glad he said we got it. That's the way I look at it.
You guys got it after game 1, yo.
We just got a collective thumbs down from the truck on that.
I beg to differ.
Oh, you're too kind.
Hey, remember last time up, threw him a slider. Molina walked him. See if he throws him another slider here.
That one really gets in on the hands.
Two-seamer foul ball. That ball had so much movement on it. Molina started his swing and it catches. Let's see if it catches the barrel of the bat. He tries to, yep, caught the barrel. Love the Exmo. Give you a good look. Foul tip.
Two outs, and Molina bounces one up the middle. There's Cabrera up with it across the diamond. And that will do it for the Cardinals, but they will pick up a run. But hey, Padres fans, Mr. RBI, Chase Headley will lead off. Hit in the bottom of the third inning, and we'll take a look at the power surge that's going on through baseball.
Wow, look at that.
A little surprised, huh?
Since May 1st, San Diego Padres right behind, one behind the Colorado Rockies as far as home runs are concerned. And you know what leads us to our Twitter poll tonight, brought to you by AT&T. AT&T, hottest power hitting team in the National League right now. Rockies home run, Padres home run, Pirates, Reds, Mets. Use the hashtag. For instance, hashtag RockiesHR. Hashtag PadresHR. Pirates HR, Reds HR, Mets HR. Mark Sweeney, down to you. What do you think?
Guys, I'm going with the Reds, and the reason for it, they play at Williamsport. It's actually a Little League field. That's the reason why.
I'm going Colorado.
Hey, Everett Cabrera puts a charge into this one. It'll escape by John Jay, and Everett Cabrera's off to the races. He's going to make a bid for third, should get it easily, and he does. Down by one, and Everett Cabrera leads off with a big three-base knock.
A 1-0 pitch. He can read the defense. He knows they're not going to get to it. Let go of the reins a little bit. Going for third, sliding in, getting dirty just for the heck of it. What a way to lead off this inning.
Fourth triple of the year for Cabrera. That ties him for second in the National League.
You know, guys, just seeing Everett Cabrera out of the batter's box, putting his head down, but just peeking towards that right center gap just to take a look at where that ball is. But he kept his head down, and he knew that triple was on his mind from the get-go.
Love that. Love to watch a guy who's got wheels just open it up like that.
One of the most exciting plays in baseball, right? You know, there's a lot, but the triple is right up there.
Yeah, in the park homer. Maybe about the only trump card. Here's Will Venable. Grounded to Shelby Miller in the first.
And with the infield playing back, especially second and shortstop, in at the corners, just a little game of pepper here. Outfield playing Will to go the other way, just a tad. Try to get that run home.
Hey, Mark Sweeney, knowing Will Venable's style of hitting, what's his best approach here?
Well, he's still got to stay on top of it, but he's got himself in the pitcher's count. So look for him to try to throw that breaking ball in this situation.
He might bounce it as well.
The guys we mentioned at the open, Will Venable comes into this game with 6 home runs, 5 of them right here at Petco. That new Jack deck. Think he doesn't like that?
The old number 7.
But this time Miller will get the best of him.
Fastball up and away. You know, and he missed with location. Yadier Molina wanted that ball in. He wanted to bury it in near the jersey of Will Venable. And that just goes to show you, when you've got a power arm and a good fastball, you can get away with pitches like that.
Chase Headley singled and drove in the Padres' only run of the evening in the first. Similar situation, though. Had Cabrera on base, drove him in.
Now with 1 out, Mike Matheny brings the infield in.
You know, guys, on that last pitch right there, you saw a slide step, and you wonder why he's using a slide step with a guy on third base. Just to change the timing from the hitter's standpoint. You saw that strikeout against Will Venable. Slide step. Changes the timing to the hitters.
That's a great point. And I say that, Mark, because that's the kind of thing that you typically anticipate with a runner in a situation where he might be able to steal.
Yeah, and that's exactly why he's trying to implement it. When you change and it's usually done with guys with leg kicks. All those leg kicks are in the game now. I wonder why guys don't slide step, and that's why I wanted to ask Mark, too.
Oh, Yadier Molina thought he had a chance to get Everett.
That's always in the playbook. Absolutely. You always have to worry about Molina throwing behind the runner. But to answer your question, Mark, a lot of guys don't feel comfortable sometimes using the slide step, because if you got to be quick with your front side, you have to be quick with your backside, getting up on top. And you know, that's just out of the ordinary. As we take a look at Miller going up the ladder to Chase Headley. He got the front door open with the left-handed hitter. Going right after him. Good power motion.
Here's Carlos Quentin. Quentin flied to center field with a second out of the inning in the first. 3 for 9, as you see there, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Chance to even this one at 2. And he gets underneath it. Carpenter and Craig converge. Carpenter calls for it, and that will do it for the Padres in the third. When we come back, John Jay, Ty Wigginton, and Pete Cosmo. Our broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. And they're watching all around the world, places such as Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. A hearty welcome and a huge thank you.
Absolutely. We're glad that you could take a few hours possibly out of your day to sit back and relax and enjoy. Thank you for your service, all the men and women out there to our country. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to all of you watching the Padres in Game 1 of this 3-game set with the St. Louis Cardinals. The first place team in the National League Central is St. Louis. Both teams playing very good baseball. Sets up to be a wonderful series as Jason Marquis throws a wonderful pitch and shuts down John Jay.
You talk about freezing the hitter. Why? Because look at on the left side here, you've got the grip on the two-seam fastball. On the right side, you'll see he starts it on the inside part of the plate. And look at how this ball is going to go right back over the heart of the plate. Freezes John Jay for the nice strikeout. He needs to repeat that release. But you can see right there. Did you see what Jason just did there? He said, I got to stay on top. I worked underneath that one.
That'll bring up Ty Wigginton. Flied out to right in the second inning. Nice pitch, Jason Marquis. Working down, working with movement. That's his game, isn't it, Mark Sweeney?
Yeah, guys, but the one thing, too, that I worry about when he's showing off mechanics on the mound is as a hitter, you know he's worrying about those mechanics rather than executing his pitch. You know you're going to get mistakes, so that's why you're going to see the Cardinals, a good hitting ball club, look for the center of the plate.
Look at after 2 pitches ago, he said, I got to stay on top of it. I'm working underneath it. Giving himself a lesson, Mark Sweeney. That's awesome. How much talking did you do to yourself, that little man on your shoulder in the batter's box?
Well, I had a lot, but you didn't want to show up that you get your weakness, and I think that's what it does. And a lot of times you'll see pitchers wiping the dirt and being angry at their mechanics. You know you're going to get a mistake there because mentally they're not focused.
So Marquis will bring the count full against Wigginton. Foul, but not by much as Chase gives it a look. That's why they call it the hot corner.
Oh,
ball was scalded.
That was very close, too.
You know, guys, on those balls that are in, you'll see the corners. Watch John Baker set up inside. They'll cheat a step. And most of the times you do that, you don't see location. You don't see where they're trying to spot the baseball. But if John Baker sets up inside, Chase Headley's going to take that extra step towards the line.
Yeah, and you know what else they'll do, Mark, and you know this. The catcher will kind of get the attention of the third baseman behind the right-hand hitter, kind of flap his glove a little bit, saying, hey, we're coming inside here. You might be heads up. Two-seamer inside.
Wigginton will walk here. Fourth walk of the night issued by Jason and Pete Cosma.
You could see the frustration on Jason's face there. Still kind of having difficulty spotting that, being consistent with that two-seamer and that slider down and away to righties.
As you said at the outset, he's walked his share of hitters this season. It's just he's had that ability to make the big pitch when he's been in crisis. Four walks in his last start against Baltimore. Just one in the one start before that against Miami, but 5, 4, and 4 in the 3 starts preceding that one. Ball and a strike, 1 out. And Wigginton's on the run, and a nice throw. John Baker. Wigginton doesn't even bother to think about it. He just goes off. You, sir, are out. Wigginton knew it the whole time. Nice toss.
Well, the last 3 times John Baker's thrown down to second base, they've been doozies. And as you said, Wigginton back in the dugout. John Baker locked in, picking up Jason Marquis.
Bouncer to Headley with 2 down. Headley across the diamond. And that will do it for the Cardinals in the 4th. Jed Jerko, along with his buddies Yonder Alonso, coming up next. A lot of action, folks. 2-1 is where we sit in the bottom of the 4th inning. Shelby Miller against Jason Marquis. Yonder Alonso will lead off for the Padres. He grounded to short in the 1st. One of only 2 Padres to have appeared in all 43 games so far this season. Just Yonder and Everett Cabrera. Looked like that power surge is coming along. And
well, I think the hit doctor, Mark Sweeney, has broken it down quite nicely over the course of Yonder Alonso's career in a Padre uniform. Seeing him come over, right, in the trade.
Doctor?
And what you want to look at, too, is his lower half. Yonder Alonso has been so much better with his lower half, and he's worked on that all the way from spring training. Sometimes it doesn't happen quickly. It's a length of time that you have to work on that because it is an adjustment.
There's going to be times when you swing at the high fastball out of the zone and you shake your head, but how quickly can you make the adjustment to the next pitch? See if he goes up and out of the zone here. Hey, that was a fastball. It was a foul ball, but it was a fastball at 95, and he spun on it.
Sweens, we showed that home run from yesterday when he, Blanks, Venable each had a pop. And you always wonder with these young hitters, is it tough to get past that at bat, not get hung up on the idea now that I'm going to drive everything I see out of the park?
Well, yeah, Yonder needs to know that he's a doubles hitter, and that home run power is going to evolve by squaring more balls up. His consistency and what we saw earlier in this at bat, you have to stay in the strike zone, and when Yonder does that, he's going to have a lot of success. You're going to see a spike in the numbers.
So the Padres down by a run here in the 4th with a chance for this part of the lineup to get something moving, but off-speed pitch by Miller. Yonder bounces out to second base for the first out of the inning. Come Jed Jerko, struck out in the 2nd, but he and the shortstop for the Cardinals, Pete Kozma, having nice seasons to begin. Taking a look at the National League rookie leaders. Jed leads those rookies in hits with 41. Both guys contributing early in their careers.
If they can get to it, they're going to catch it defensively, right?
And you know, guys, when you look at both of those guys, Pete Kozma has been up. He had that playoff experience last year,
Yep.
so it's almost like he's not a rookie. That's what's so impressive about Jed Jerko, not having that last year to this year.
Yeah, Pete Kozma in 2011, his first time, only 17 at-bats. And then last year in 2012 as a Redbird, 72 at-bats. And you need 150 for that rookie status to go away.
Hey, Mark Sweeney, what do you think of Jed's approach here with a fireballer like Shelby Miller?
Yeah, so many times Jed Jerko tries to keep it simple. He's talking about getting his foot down early so he can let that ball travel and then his hands work. I think he's doing a much better job with the timing aspect of his swing.
Jerko will fan this one out to right. Beltran snatches it. Second out of the inning. It's time now for the Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. Taking a look at the National League strikeout leaders as we enter tonight by the rookies. There's Shelby Miller right there. Top of the heap.
Hey, some good arms right there. And when I think strikeouts, when I think Cardinals, number 45 back in the day, Bob Gibson. He was pretty good.
To lower the mound after he left.
1968. 1.12 ERA.
Unfair advantage. How'd you like to be so good they have to change the game?
That's true. Yeah.
How many times has that happened?
How does that feel, Mark?
Yeah. Hey, there's a Gibson fan. Thanks, Mark. That's awesome.
You got good stuff.
Changing the game one day at a time. And Chris Denorfia finds some green in front of Carlos Beltran. 2-out base hit. Down by a run. Good chance to get something started.
We know this Padre team as we take a look out of the hand, the curveball, and Denorfia is staying out nicely off the end of the bat, but has the right idea. Who says it has to be on the sweet spot? If that ball's on the sweet spot, it's probably a fly ball for an out to right field.
Here's John Baker. Well, Swains, Baker's made a few adjustments recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, and you know what? Getting at bats definitely does help. You talked to John Baker. He had a really good series, and especially against Baltimore, had confidence coming back home. And that is huge when you're getting a backup catcher getting some at bats.
And 2 for 4 against Washington. But really, his defense, sterling.
Yeah.
Throwing out a couple of base runners.
And you saw how excited he was. Remember? In the National Series?
Yeah. You don't get a lot of opportunities to play, and then you're able to take advantage of the few you get. Baker struck out in the second.
Hey, Mark Sweeney, talking about Shelby Miller, you know, he's also changing speeds on his fastball.
Yeah, and I think that's impressive, Mark.
Yeah.
When you do see a young pitcher changing velocities, you know, changing eye levels, that is so impressive. And everything that we've heard from this young man, we're seeing it tonight.
Might see a curveball here. Molina put down number 2.
Ball and 2 strikes, and that pitch was flat nasty to John Baker as he will take a look at strike 3, and that will do it for the Padres in the home half of the 4th. Stunning night for baseball at Petco. Game 1 of 3 between the Cardinals and the Padres. Mark Grant, Mike Pomeranz with you as Dick Enberg enjoys a night off. Boy, the Padres have been playing good baseball. Continuing that again today.
We've got ourselves a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, which I love.
Padres 11-3 in their last 14 home games. As Jason Marquis faces Shelby Miller and opens him up with strike one.
Hey, 2 and 10's a tough hole to dig out of. Right? To start the year?
Spend my whole life digging, Mark. That'll do it for Miller. Third strikeout of the game for Marquis. 75 pitches, though, here in the fifth. Jason's not afraid to throw a few.
No, he'll throw 200. If Bud Black went up to him and said, "Hey, I'm giving you 200 pitches tonight," Jason would say, "Okay." He'll throw 150 pitches on a side for his bullpen. He wants to get that feel, that repetition. Not too many pitchers can do that. I mean, think about it. When you try to hone your craft as a pitcher, think of other sports. A golfer, he can swing 1,000 times if he wants. Basketball player can take 1,000 shots. Baseball hitter can swing 1,000 times. A pitcher, 1,000 throws, and you've got Tommy John surgery or your shoulder blows up.
Nice. Oh. Next that one out of the air. Jason Marquis. What a play.
Like a cat.
Do not fool with Jason Marquis. You want to hit, you're going to have to hit it somewhere else.
The best athlete on the diamond tonight is number 21. On the left is a two-seamer. Tell you what, when you think about it, Carpenter gets his hands through, gets the good part of the bat. I'll bet you a dime to donuts, and I love donuts. That ball, he caught that ball behind him, Jason Marquis. El Gato. The cat.
Bilingual. Just one of your many gifts.
That was sweet. That's nice. A base knock.
Yeah. Could have been a double. Well, it was laced. Here's Carlos Beltran. Bouncing to a double play in the first. Doubled and scored in the third. Of all the home runs he has hit, he has not hit a home run the places you see here. And if I say them out loud, I know I'll get emails that I jinxed it.
Well, let's keep it that way then, right?
Moving on. 2-1. Cardinals over the Padres.
Well, the thing about Beltran is that he's such a good hitter that he can connect at any quadrant of the plate.
So with 2 outs, he'll lift this one. Yonder Alonso calls for it. And that will do it for the Redbirds in the top of the fifth. When we come back, Jason Marquis will lead off. 2-1 ball game, and Chase Headley would get the Padres on the board in the bottom of the first with an RBI, and the Cardinals would come right back in their half of the second inning when Chase would make an error, and the Cardinals would tack on one more. They're getting it via the double play, and that's where we stand 2-1 here in the Padre half of the fifth inning. Tonight's starting pitcher Jason Marquis will lead things off. That's how nasty a pitch that was.
I don't think he offered it that pitch. I think his body kind of turned.
This one bounced back up the middle. It'll be Cosma.
Now, like any leadoff hitter will do, Everett Cabrera take his time a little bit, a little extra pine tar on that bat, kind of do a little stretch, an extra swing, and watch as his pitcher, Jason Marquis, walks slowly back to the dugout to get a little bit of a rest. Maybe say hi to the catcher, check out the scoreboard.
Triple check the signs
yeah.
with nobody on.
Call time, act like you got a bug in your eye or something. See, look at that.
Cabrera singled and scored in the first, tripled in the third. But the Padres were unable to score him as Will Venable, Chase Headley struck out. Carlos Quentin flied out. And that's where we stand, 2-1 in the home half of the fifth inning. Padres 15-8 since April 30th. One of the best records in baseball in that stretch.
That's impressive. You know, I've noticed also offensively is that, and Mark Sweeney can weigh in on this as well with you, Mike, is that when I look at my scorecard and over that time period, they've split up their outs, if that makes sense. Not only two outs together, there's like maybe an out, maybe a hit, a walk, another hit, then an out, and then a walk, and then an out to end the inning. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Mark Sweeney?
Yeah, you know what, Mark, I also think too, to further what you're saying too, I think the 2-out hits, I mean, that is so contagious and also gives you confidence. And when you see one guy do it, it just kind of makes you feel very comfortable getting into those situations. They've done a much better job at those situations as well.
So the Padres with a chance to get something going in a very tight ball game. Shelby Miller, whoa, nearly airmails that one.
He almost hit the ball on that one. Hey, that's tough if you're a catcher. Yadier Molina, you got to come up out of the crouch. Your anticipation down and away, and this guy throws 95. That's a good save by Molina.
So Cabrera, who leads the major leagues in steals with 18 coming into tonight, fakes a look, and Molina almost buys into it, almost a snap throw behind him.
And before this game, going into this game, Yadier Molina, 38% thrown out base runners, 8 for 21. And to quantify those numbers, the league average is about 30%. So he's almost at 40%. The Padres got to him earlier. Christian Orpheus stole the base in the second inning. He was left stranded.
Oh, that hangs him out to dry right there as Everett tried to get a read on a tough pitch. And Alan Craig will run him down. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, and that's a base stealer's life. 2-6-3.
Well, first of all, how about the pick? Well, that's why the guy's a Gold Glover. It's not just about winning the Gold Glove and calling games, but watch Molina. He's frozen, but then he throws ahead of the runner. Why does he do that? Because he wants to take the runner back this way. Run him back a little bit. They do give up a throw here. No interference there. Umpire was waving safe, and they complete it with the tag. Always throw ahead of the runner.
Yeah, guys, in that situation, too, I don't mind Everett Cabrera taking a chance of that. Yes, you have Yadier Molina behind there, but a ball in the dirt, you have to take chances, especially in a one-run ball game, exactly with one out.
Yeah, that was an absolutely magnificent pick. I mean, backhand pick across your body.
With a glove that's made of pillows. Not an easy combination. Here's Will Venable's lifted fly ball, and it's straight at Carlos Beltran, and that'll do it for the Padres. And their half of the 5th inning. Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, when we come back. Brought to you by Sequan. Real friendly, real close. By Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Beautiful Monday night for baseball in San Diego, Petco Park, as the Padres host game 1 of a 3-game set with the St. Louis Cardinals. And Jason Marquis, the veteran, 4 straight wins coming into tonight in a 2-1 pitchers duel with Shelby Miller.
I love it.
Matt Holliday, as Dino looks it into the seats. Down the ramp.
Chris Denorfia will run into that wall to try to pick up his pitcher, Jason Marquis, and get that big first out. Nothing better, and from a pitcher standpoint, Mike, and you know this, when you have an outfielder and guys playing behind you, like Chris Denorfia and the others that wear the Padres uni, that want to get dirty and make that play, so you don't have to throw any more pitches to Matt Holliday.
And Holliday goes the other direction, so he's got a foul ball to each side. And Jason's pitch total now up at 85. Cardinals 3rd in the National League in batting average, hitting .266. Mike Matheny has 5 players in the lineup tonight with 20 or more RBIs. Take a look, and Ed Hitchcock says nope. Holliday did not go. So 2-2 the count. Nobody out here in the top half of the 6th inning.
We've seen a number of times Jason being upset with himself after a certain pitch, and that was one of them. He didn't want to go 3-2. He wanted to make a good quality pitch on that slider. Hey, 2-2 slider, he missed. You throw him another slider here. Why not?
Mr. Fister. There's Jerko out under it, but Dino will call for it. 1 down.
I like that, Mr. Fister. And that was a hanging breaking ball, too. But sometimes if you hang it just enough and it's on the right part of the plate, hey, you get a result like that.
It's a nice pitch. You don't want to live by that,
the
though.
Hanging slider? Oh,
you ever throw one of those?
You think?
I was just setting you up.
That was my best pitch.
Looking over at our buddy Mike Tressel, our statistician. It's like,
who does a great
hang
job,
a few of those. Yes.
But if you hang it just enough, you can't square it up.
You want to use that argument in arbitration?
No, well, especially if it's in a little bit like that. That pitch was to Holiday.
Here's Alan Craig. Craig grounded out in the second, hit into a double play in the third. 30 RBIs on the season for Craig, and he's hitting .312. Big shoes to fill when Albert Pujols left. Jason Marquis pitched 3 seasons for the Cardinals. His best year in 2004 when he was 15-7. Threw 201 innings that year. He's a horse. This ball is ripped, and a nice play by Headley, but he'll have to go across the diamond, and a beauty on both ends. Chase Headley to Yonder Alonso. What is that? That's the double pick. That's the some kind of nice play of the night.
Look at the Gold Glover going to his right, taking away extra bases. Umpire signals safe. Alonso picks it. The Pickmasters at the corners. Oh, that's sweet. Nobody appreciates that more than Jason Marquis. Nice.
That's a Gold Glove third baseman. Had the error earlier, shakes it off. Drives in a run, and this one will go to Cabrera. A nice backhand across the diamond.
Hit it to the wrong guy.
No hits here. Third out of the inning. That'll do it for the Cardinals in the 6th. Chase Headley will lead off. Well-pitched ball game on both sides of the coin. Shelby Miller against Jason Marquis as Chase Headley prepares to lead off in the Padres half of the 6th inning. Down by a run. And as good a point as any to get something started against a very tough young right-hander. Miller with 5 strikeouts and a walk on the night. The Padres got on the board in the first on an RBI single by Headley, and that has been all the scoring for the hometown 9.
Well, let's see if he starts him off here with a breaking ball, because the third time around, oh, look at there. And Chase Headley might be hunting the fastball. So he starts him off with the old number 2.
Well, the Padres have seen some good pitching in the last several series.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Tampa and Baltimore, Washington, and now the Cardinals. The Cardinals with the best ERA in baseball coming in tonight at 3.16. Best starter ERA as well.
Well, Shelby Miller, this at bat to Chase Headley, has shown everything in his toolbox. Curveball, fastball, changeup, fastball. Chase has got to be short and quick to the baseball.
That ball is ripped. Takes Carpenter up off his feet, but he'll make the play for the first out of the inning.
Well, he mixed it up, and the pitch by pitch starts this way. The old number 2 missing. Okay, now he knows he's got to throw a strike. He gets the high call there. That was a ball. Paints down at the knees. That one pitch was a changeup. Chase can't catch up to the fastball. That ball was smoked, as you mentioned, Mike. Just happened to be a one hopper to Matt Carpenter. Hey, Ron and Alexis Fowler watching the big league ball game.
Some smiles there. The teams have been playing very well. 11-3 in the last 14 games here at home. Here's Carlos Quentin. And this is a matchup at a time in the game you got to love to see if you're a fan, right? Big power hitter in Carlos Quentin, due to get himself started, and he could get a dead red heater at some point in this at bat, as Miller seems, like you said, empty in the tackle box. But you wait long enough, you should get something you can hit.
I'm sure that would put a smile on the executive chairman's face, Mr. Ron Fowler and his wife Alexis.
Down by a run, this is a great opportunity for the Padres to strike, because the runs and hits are tough to come by, and they've got a little something going here perhaps in the 6th as Quentin draws a walk. Second of the game issued by Miller.
You know what else is impressive about Shelby Miller, Mike? Jason Marquis, he's been around the block, what, 15, 16 years in the big leagues. We've got ourselves a pitcher's duel here. He has a 1-run lead. He's had that 1-run lead since the 3rd. And that tells you something. This is the big leagues. The pressure packed, right? Holding the lead. And still in the game here in the bottom of the 6th.
Oh, Yonder Alonso just missed that one. Saw him hit that home run yesterday and hoped that maybe he could put a charge into one there. Was not to be.
Maybe got in on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be frustrating if you're a hitter and you recognize the pitch. It's a four-seamer out of the hand. It's inside. He gets his hands through it, but just a little bit too quick to that baseball. Off the end of the bat, you can hear it all the way up here. It just didn't have that solid sound off the sweet spot. And believe me, I know that sound. Being 60 feet 6 inches away. It's not a good sound.
Here's Jed Jerko. He struck out in the 2nd. Flying out to right in the 4th. Bill Miller, that home plate umpire, giving Shelby Miller a little room to operate back there.
Yeah. You got the high strike call. Look at that right there.
Quentin close at first.
Fernando Salas warming in the Redbird bullpen.
Take comfort in that. Mike Matheny. 1-1, 2 outs. Here's ball 2 to Jerko. Take a look at those National League leaders and most pitches per game this season. Blake Kershaw tops that list, but Shelby Miller, Lance Lynn, a couple of Cardinals right there at 104, 103. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs.
You know, I look at that graphic, and that seems to be the way, 100 pitch mark, right? I'm sure former Padre pitcher like Gaylord Perry or Bob Gibson look at that stat and they, really?
What's a pitch count?
Yeah, those guys threw like 140, 150 pitches a game, especially with all the punch outs.
This is pitch 107 right here. Jerko with a man on, and he'll take inside for ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning issued by Miller, only 3 in the game.
And the slow trot for Mike Matheny might indicate he's going to make a change. He points, and yes, sir, he's thinking, you know what? I want to go with a fresh arm. This kid's pitched his heart out. He's got a 1-run lead, but hopefully the Padres can do some damage with runners on first and second. They need a big hit right here.
So as the Cardinals make a change in a 2-1 ball game, we'll take a quick break. As the Padres get 2 runners on via the walk.
Hey, be at Petco Park when your Padres take on the Toronto Blue Jays. It's Saturday, June 1st. First pitch is at 7:10. First 25,000 fans, will take home a replica Padres road jersey and pet bandana presented by Petco. Be sure to buy your tickets at SaveYourPadres.com or get on the horn. Call 619-795-5555.
Fernando Salas is the new pitcher. Shelby Miller done for the night. Throws 5 2/3 and allows 5 hits, a run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 107 pitches.
Now Fernando Salas, do you hear the drums, Fernando? Fastball, slider, change. Not an overpowering fastball. 87-92 on that heater. Not a lot of walks, so he's going to be around the plate. Only 2 free passes in 16 innings for the right-hander.
Well, as good as the Cardinal starters are, the Padres have a real opportunity here with 2 on, down by a run, even though there are 2 outs. Because the relievers are 13th in the National League of 15 clubs.
Yeah, they've had to do some jockeying around in that Cardinal bullpen.
Chris D'Onofrio hitting .533 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Already 2 hits tonight. Singled in the second, singled again in the 4th. Good man, right spot.
Dale Thayer, good old number 55, heating up for the Padres.
One and one to Dino with 2 outs, 2 on. And he belts this one up the middle. Jay will charge hard. But there's going to be a play at the plate, but it's offline, and Quinton stumbles in. And hopefully he's okay. But the RBI signal, and takes second on the throw by Jay, by Chris D'Onofrio. Take another look at it, Mark.
A hanging slider. Denorvia stays on top of it, punches it right up the center of the diamond. You talk about clutch. Another 2-out hit, another 2-out run for the Padres. Now the race is on. John Jay charging. And wow, Carlos Quentin gets the green light. Almost sticks like a lawn dart on that hip. Luckily he scores. Hopefully he's okay.
Carlos Quentin will give you everything he's got, and every Padre fan watching him knows he's been nicked up. And he looks to be okay. Keep an eye on it for you. Here's John Baker. 0 for 2. Couple of strikeouts.
How clutch is Chris Denorfia? That throw going through and taking second base. Hey, do it again. Another 2-out knock.
Hey, we showed you the number before. Hitting .533 before that at bat with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. I don't think there's anybody hotter in baseball right now under those conditions. And John Baker has a chance to put the Padres ahead.
Meeting on the mound, Cosma, Molina, Salas to get the sign straight with that runner on second base. John 1 for 4 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's knocked in a couple.
Here's Baker with a chance to put San Diego up. Jesus Guzman is on deck. And Baker draws the 3rd Padre walk of the inning. And that'll load him up for Jesus Guzman. We saw a situation like this when the Padres were in Tampa.
Yes, we did.
Bases loaded.
And I know where you're going.
I like being there.
As pitching coach Derek Lilliquist has a meeting with Salas to go over the scouting report. Jesus Guzman. Guzman loves the fastball. Don't throw him a hanging breaking ball.
Seen a few of those tonight.
Look at Padre leaders there as Darren Balsley is on the horn to the bullpen. Hey, get him going.
Big at bat, and a chance for the Padres to open this up. Locked in a 2-2 tie in the home half of the 6th inning. Already picking up 1 in the inning.
Oh, for the long one. So he can close the book on Jason Marquis. And you know what? 6 innings, he only gave up 3 hits. And didn't even have his best stuff, but he battled again.
Been doing it all season long, Jace. Well done.
He's hoping for a base knock right here. Too good of a pitch, 0-2, huh?
Uzi hanging in there. Just takes one, right?
Absolutely. Hey, a broken bat flare. A walk. He's got to battle back, 0-2. Hey, this is where a pitcher might try to make too good of a pitch. Next thing you know, you bounce him back to the screen.
Oh, and that ball hits Guzman in the arm. Bill Miller calls it. As good as a hit right there. Guzzi shakes it off, and the Padres take the lead.
Well, that's going to be an RBI that's going to hurt a little bit, but I'm sure Jesus Guzman will take it. The back right forearm. Yeah, that's going to leave a mark, but it'll also, it looked like, boy, out of the hand, it looked like a changeup that gets away from Salas. And the Padres take the lead. 1 on, 1 off. The merry-go-round inning.
Pods pick up 2 so far in the 6th inning. Sacks remain full for the red-hot Everett Cabrera, who has a single and a triple. Scored in the first.
This is a part of the game where we've known what the Padres have done with 2 outs, hits and runs, but busting this one open a little bit. You flip the lineup. You got the top of the order, Cabrera, who's having a heck of a game.
Good rip. Count goes even at a ball and a strike. 2 outs. Well done, Jason. Buddy Black's Padres scratching and clawing back into this one. Put up 13 runs yesterday against Washington. Knew they'd have their hands full with a pitching challenge here, and they do. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Once again, Cabrera's thinking all the pressure's on Salas. Hey, frontwards, backwards, it doesn't matter. It still spells Salas. It's called a palindrome.
Keeping you away from the dictionary on the next flight. Oh, this ball lifted. Hopefully it'll find a seat. Third baseman Wigginton gives it a look, and it does.
So Cabrera getting another crack at it. He had a pretty good crack at this last pitch. 2-seam fastball. Look where this one is on location. Right down the middle of the plate. And working underneath it just a little bit. That was a pitch that could have done some damage.
Cardinal pen a little bit active. Left-hander Randy Choate up for Mike Matheny. Deuce is wild. This ball is wrapped on the ground to Carpenter, who gloves it. And that will do it for the Padres. But not before the Padres pick up 2 in the 6th to take a 1-run lead as Carlos Quentin finds home plate.
One for the Padres and the Cardinals. Padres lead 3-2, and it's been a pitcher's duel. Mark Sweeney, Laura McKeeman, we're getting you ready for Padres Live, the postgame show. And Mark, runs hard to come by for both sides.
Yeah, Jason Marquis grinding out another start, but making some adjustments late in this start to get him deep in the ball game. Shelby Miller did not disappoint as well for St. Louis.
Well, we'll talk more about these starting pitchers when we come up on Padres Live, the postgame show. We'll hear from Buddy Black. We'll also take you for a little trip around the National League West, tell you what's going on in the division. Mark, Mike?
Thank you, Laura and Mark. Yeah, it should be a great postgame show. This one keeps up. Here's Dale Thayer who is picking things up for Jason Marquis, whose night ended. Nice night, as you mentioned there, Mr. Grant, for Jason, who battled.
Oh, yeah.
Always does.
Great numbers for Dale Thayer, just painting the inside, outside corners, going after him with the heater. 93-95 with that fastball. You know, a 1-run lead, a 4-run lead, whatever for the Padres. You get the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. You got Thayer, Gregerson, and Street. It's a pretty good trio. Pretty nice little combo going on.
Here's John Jay. He's 1 for 2. He's singled in the second. And don't dismiss this Cardinal offense. Jason doing a nice job of holding them down, but not a lot of clubs have been able to do it. 3rd in the National League in batting average. Hitting over .330 with runners in scoring position. Great job to this point by the Padres, keeping the Cardinals at 2. And John Jay gets his second hit of the game. Sharp single to right. So as Jason is done, his 6 innings. Nice.
And as Mark Sweeney mentioned, coming back from break, he battled. He got a ground ball when he really needed one in that first inning. 6 solid innings, only 3 hits, 2 runs. You know, the walks came back again, 4 walks. But hey, you look at the scoreboard, he is the pitcher of record here. Padres own a 3-2 lead.
Here's Ty Wigginton. Wigginton flied out in the second, walked in the 4th. Lefty Joe Thatcher, always at the ready. Here's the 0-1.
Well, Joe Thatcher ready, maybe for a couple of reasons. When you look at the bench for the St. Louis Cardinals, Daniel Descalso, Matt Adams from the left side. If they pinch hit, if it gets that far to the pitcher spot.
Wigginton with a rip behind 0-2. Padre defense has been very solid.
David Freese starting on the bench tonight.
About a 2-ball here. This ball is fisted to Yonder. He'll get out of his glove. Going to Cabrera for 1. Back to Yonder. In time. Double play. Well turned. The old 3-6-3.
You talk about big double plays, big time of the game. Alonso spinning towards the glove hand side. And Cabrera, I mean, he just looks so good around that second base bag. Having to use that arm when he really needs it, right? He really geared it up there to complete that 3-6-3 double play back to Alonso. He had to have a little fuzz on that last one, or else they weren't going to get that runner.
Cabby's got a gun. Here's Pete Kozma. He walked in the second, grounded out in the 4th. And you know, the other half of that, you and Dick have been talking about it for a better part of a month, is the great job that Yonder Alonso has done.
Oh yeah, he's gotten a lot better. No question about it.
Cardinals have grounded into 39 double plays. Timing is everything. They've bounced into a bunch tonight. In the 1st, in the 3rd, and again here in the 7th.
3 twin killings. You gotta love it.
.39 coming into tonight. Add a few more to the tally. Should Cosmo reach, Matt Adams waiting to pinch hit on deck. But the way Dale Thayer goes about his business, Matt Adams might have to wait.
He gets that rock and just throws it, pounds the plate. So easy, even a caveman can do it.
And Cosma will reach on a walk. Yeah, bouncing double plays for the pitcher's best friend.
Yeah, and why is that happening? Because the movement out of the hand of Jason Marquis. Working that sinker. The infielders know it. The slider down and away. The secondary pitch for Jason. Making his infielders work. And then the old 3-6-3. Credit Dale Thayer making a good pitch.
Buddy Black will come to the mound, talk things over with Dale, and make a move. So that'll do it for Dale as Pete Cosma waits at first base. We'll be back with the change in a moment. As we get you set for tomorrow's matchup, it'll be Adam Wainwright against Edinson Volquez when we see you at 6:30. It'll be game 2 of this 3-game set between two of the hotter teams in the National League right now. Wainwright, Volquez, tomorrow, 6:30.
It's going to be awesome.
One of the most enjoyable pitchers to be around. Easy. Edinson, tons of fun to watch, electric stuff. Hope you'll join us tomorrow at 6:30. And glad you're here with us tonight. We've got a great one going as Joe Thatcher takes over for Dale Thayer in a 3-2 ball game. Cardinals with 2 down in their half of the 7th and 1 on.
Yeah, Matt Adams was announced, and Buddy Black makes the change to the lefty Thatcher. And Matt Adams is no slouch himself. He's doing a fine job pinch hitting this year. That's his season average over 18 games. Pinch hitting, he's 3 for 8 in the pinch.
A home run and 3 RBIs in that stack as a pinch hitter.
He's a big kid, big burly kid.
They list him at 6'3", 260.
That's a big boy. Big hack.
But Thatcher's so tough on left-handed hitters. If you watch, he throws across his body. As you take a look at Luke Gregerson, next in line should Buddy need him.
Nice swing, big boy.
Well, you see him just freeze Cosmo over there at first. Joe's just that left-handed specialist.
See if it gives him that sweeping breaking ball.
Come on, Thatcher.
Pops this one pretty good to center field. And Venable will go back to the track. Using all of the ballpark. An out is an out, and the Cardinals can't score. Here's your Subway in-game box score. Padres lead this one 3-2, and Everett Cabrera continues his hot hitting with a triple, a single, and a run scored. Chase Headley with a RBI himself, and Chris Denorfia working a perfect evening. 3 singles, and that is where we stand here. And the home half of the 7th inning. Padres picking up 2 to tie and to go ahead in the 6th. And Mitchell Boggs will be the new Cardinals pitcher.
Boggs, fastball, slider, and a change. 90 to 97 on that fastball. A little high in the walks. 12 walks in 10-plus innings. Not good. Oh, he's working out of the stretch. Time for Will Venable to go to work.
Venable 0 for 3. Takes strike 1. He grounded out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, and flied out in the 5th. Boggs will step off and recollect or collect his thoughts. Can you even recollect? I just make that one up.
Sure you can. Why not?
That ball is smoked. Beltran will give it a look and watch this one go. Goodbye. Home run, Will Venable. Will Venable, his 7th home run of the season, his 6th here at Petco, and that will give the Padres a 4-2 lead.
An 0-1 pitch, a 2-seamer. He goes out and gets it, and number 7 is hit on the number 7 deck. The jack deck.
I'm with that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that ball was just crushed.
The old number 7 for Will Venable. Come in a whomping and a whooping. That ball was crushed.
Going blazing saddles on me in the 7th, are you? Here's Chase Headley.
Man, the home runs.
What did we hear in spring training when they brought in the fences? Will Venable might be the guy to benefit the most. 7 home runs now, 6 of them here.
And you know what? The last 2, correct me if I'm wrong, here at Petco were down the right field line. Petco porch. One of them was beyond the porch. The mystery one was, I think, on the porch, right?
That was deep in the corner there over the Petco sign, but in that little section that existed prior.
But that one would have been out anywhere, except maybe San Francisco.
That was a welcome. Headley drops this one to Craig. Dancing Bear is Mr. Boggs, and it's in time to get Chase Headley. Like a bull in a china closet. Boggs galloped over there as Craig makes the play.
Well, the main thing here is Craig, he knocks it down. Oh, and that's a changeup. Wow. That's great concentration for Boggs. He realizes he's got the ball in the glove, and he comes down and gets the outer part of the bag for the putout.
Carlos Quentin looking for his first hit of the night. Padres just picked up 1. That solo rocket by Will Venable. Let's see if Carlos Quentin can find a gap. Padres 11-3 in the last 14 home games. 15-8 since April 30th. Pitching's been there, Mark. The defense certainly.
And like Bud Black said, many times we've heard him say this as he talks with bench coach Rick Renteria. Everything's got to work in unison, right? We've got to catch the ball. We've got to throw the ball accurately.
There's Cosma. 2 down.
We have to get good starting pitching. Jason Marquis, 6 quality innings. Only 2 runs.
You pretty much know what you're going to get out of that bullpen.
Yeah.
You know, Cardinals have to be wondering.
Hey, back end is solid now.
Luke Gregerson always at the ready. Former Cardinal himself. Yonder Alonso bounces this one to Matt Carpenter. And that will do it for the Padres in the 7th, but not before Will Venable absolutely crushes this solo shot into the jack deck. 4-2 Padres. Padres baseball on Fox Sports San Diego is brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. By California Lottery, Fortune 55 scratchers from the California Lottery. It's more luck for your buck. And by Mercury Insurance. Get a quote, get 2 free Padres tickets at mercuryinsurance.com/Padres. Joe Thatcher against Matt Carpenter. Lead off the top of the 8th. Will Venable sent one into the jack deck for the 4th run of the game for the Padres in the bottom of the 7th. And the Padres pitchers a little bit of breathing room. Boy, did you tune in for a dandy tonight. Nice pitching matchup. Shelby Miller against Jason Marquis. And the Padres held to 1 run through 5, found 2 in the 6th and then 1 in the 7th.
It looks like Luke Gregerson has tossed enough to get hot. He'll have 8, as he goes out to the mound when, if in fact Buddy Black does go out to get him.
Carpenter, who came into this game hitting .296, his walk struck out and grounded out to the pitcher. And is facing a very tough left-hander in Joe Thatcher.
Seriously, how do you hit off Joe Thatcher? I mean, the way he throws the ball, and throws across his body,
it's ridiculous.
Going from the first base side of the rubber, it's just... it's amazing even left-handers can hit the guy. So these big league hitters have always amazed me. And to have these guys who year in and year out hit 300, right? They're hitting off the best starters. They're hitting off against specialists like Joe Thatcher. They're hitting off the best closers. Yet each and every year they hit 300. It just boggles my mind.
Here's the 0-2.
Not a bad idea, elevating. Well, Adam Wainwright has the jacket on, scouting these Padres. He'll grab the onion tomorrow.
You know, you're talking about hitting Joe Thatcher. It does make you appreciate what all the hitters bring to the table. But a guy like Mark Kotsay, You know, even Mark Sweeney,
Sure.
you know, making your living as a pinch hitter.
One of the best of all time.
Second highest batting average. Or second highest number of hits as a pinch hitter. Highest number of RBIs, Mark Sweeney. Most RBIs.
That's incredible.
In the history of the game as a pinch hitter. And he will never tell you about it. Makes our producer and I, Max Michalak, Stephen Rose, digging through record books to find anything out on that guy. Here's Carpenter to count even against Thatch. As we mentioned, the Cardinals come into this one third in the National League in batting average. So Joe Thatcher knows what he's got to do. Got to keep runners off base. They will not run if they do reach.
Look at that. Perfectly placed. Hey, Padre fans, get ready for the San Diego Clasico. Saturday, July 6th, watch Club Tijuana Xolos take on Mexico City's Club America at 7:30 live at Petco Park. Don't miss this unique experience Saturday, July 6th, right here. Hurry and get your San Diego Clasico tickets today at Padres.com/Xolos.
So here comes Buddy Black as he looks to make what appears to be a double switch as Alexi Amarista trots out to the outfield. Carlos Quinton trots in. And Joe Thatcher leaves. We'll be back with more exciting action in the 8th inning. Tonight, it's 4-2 is where we stand in the storylines. Jason Marquis really competitive tonight. Had a few of his own hurdles to overcome with his control, but stuck right there in a great ball game. Going up against Shelby Miller and Kristen Orfia. Perfect evening so far, 3 for 3 with an RBI. Finding a way to get it done. He is a lunch pail guy, and the Padres appreciate it.
And Will Venable connected for a solo shot, giving the Padre pitchers a little bit of breathing room. So what have we seen tonight? Quality start. We've seen some timely hitting and the long ball off the bat of Will Venable. Oh, a little Rochambeau going on out there.
Where do you want to play?
Okay, you got left, I got center, you got right.
The old double switch. Carlos Quinton will leave the ballgame. Alexi Amarista comes in, and he'll move Will Venable over to right after losing that Rochambeau. Kristen Orfie will move from right to left, and Luke Gregerson is in for Joe Thatcher. And Carlos Beltran slices that one to Dino and left the second out of the inning.
Well, Luke Gregerson, we know about his slider, but do you know the story about the trade? Remember, he was traded in 2008 during the offseason, December 4th. From the Cardinals in the Khalil Green deal, right? Well, he was the player to be named later. Ricky Horton, who's doing play-by-play tonight for the Cardinals, told me this story. It was in a spring training game. You know, the team gets a list of players to be named later. Tony La Russa threw Luke Gregerson in the spring training game. 1 inning. Luke was lights out. After the game, LaRussa said to one of the guys, Ricky Horton found out, gosh darn it, this is LaRussa. Gosh darn it, I shouldn't have thrown Luke today. Should have kept him on the side. The next day, Luke Gregerson was the player to be named later in the Khalil Green deal. And now he's our guy.
I'll tell you what.
LaRussa knew that they were losing a good pitcher. So thanks to Ricky Horton for sharing that story.
Luke's been a wonderful acquisition. National League record holder for holds. He's an unsung hero in that spot in the bullpen, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Don't get the saves. You make a mistake, that's when they write about you.
Hey, and he was a closer in 2007 in Palm Beach. 29 saves. Had a 1.97 ERA for Luke Gregerson. His minor league days as a Redbird.
Facing Matt Holliday here with 2 outs. Protecting a 2-run Padre lead. Dangerous Cardinal lineup. Holliday's got 1 hit on the day. And Luke Gregerson, what makes him special in part is a lot like Mariano Rivera. You know the slider's coming, and folks can't hit it.
Well, I think Luke on that last one, being honest here, I think that's when he's glad that Holliday fouled in the stands, because that one caught a little bit too much of the plate. Oh, guy's night out, huh?
He's got first round. I got it.
You take it.
I'll pick it up. Tabs on me.
Got to get that slider down and away. I mean, I'm talking down off the plate.
Holliday battling.
Okay, he wants it down here. Look where it ends up on contact. Come on. Okay, I hope you foul this ball off. Once again, hung just enough, right? Couldn't get on top of it.
This one wrapped it. Cabrera, nice play in the spin. Fires a dart to Yonder Alonso, and that will do it for the Cardinals in the 8th. What a play by Everett Cabrera. He continues to flash the leather brilliantly.
Twitter poll question, and the question was, who is the hottest power hitting team in the National League right now? 90% runaway landslide. Hashtag Padres HR. Sorry about it. Mike Pomerantz, back to you.
They're going off the 3 home run performance last night, the Will Venable drive tonight. How many times did you tweet?
Honestly, none. I can't tell a lie.
Where's your phone on your Twitter app? Jerko bouncing ball. Nice play by Wigginton. One away. Our Carl's Jr. star of the game, Chris Denorfia, having himself a wonderful evening. 3 for 3 with 3 singles and RBI, stolen base. The lunch pail kid getting it done every way Buddy Black asks. Our Carl's Jr. star of the game.
You know, that's a great analogy right there. The lunch pail kid.
Impossible to not respect a guy who worked this hard to get to where he is.
And it's a great story. Yeah, you're right. I could picture Chris Denorfia like building bridges, right, and being a construction guy.
His family's in construction.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he takes nothing for granted. You see him here at the ballpark early. He stays late. Gets along with the guys in the clubhouse. Scratches every single at bat. Good fastball from Boggs as Houston Street starts to shake off the cobwebs.
You know, it's kind of neat is to see Chris's mom and dad when the Padres travel east to see Mr. and Mrs. Denorfia. See him at the ballpark or at the same hotel as the team. They sure are proud of their son, rightfully so. Good people.
Here's the 1-2 to Dino with an out. Bounce to Carpenter. 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Chase Headley, single and an RBI today. And here's Johnny Baker. 2 strikeouts and a walk so far tonight. It's this one to center field, and Jay starts back on it and comes in for the side. That will do it for the Padres. In the 8th as Houston Street prepares to come in and slam the door. Give it a look and watch this one go. Goodbye. Home run, Will Venable. Ah, this is a nice night for baseball. Tony Gwynn's watchful eye out there beyond the center field wall at the park. as Laura McKeeman and Mark Sweeney prepare for Padres Live, the post-game show. Coming up immediately following the final out tonight. 4-2 ball game as Houston Street faces a save opportunity. He is looking for save number 11.
He's got a 2-run lead here in the top of the ninth. He'll have hitters Craig, Molina, and Jay due up for the Redbirds. And the last time out for Houston Street was back on Saturday. He recorded save number 10. It's all about location for Houston Street. They'll be the first one to mention that. Take a look at the last 3 outings. 1 run in 2 2/3 innings pitched.
Home run has been the bugaboo. Here's Alan Craig. Ball fouled away. Craig has grounded out in the second, hit into a double play in the third, grounded out again in the sixth. Cardinals been held to just 4 hits. Sterling job by Padres pitching tonight.
Good pitching, timely hitting, right? Kind of boils it down into 2 bullet points. The double play also, defense. So pretty much every facet of the game.
3 double plays. Everett Cabrera being Everett Cabrera. 1 error in the game from an unlikely source in Chase Headley, but he more than made up for it. An RBI and another great play in the field. 0-2 to Craig.
Well, just as a refresher course, fastball, slider, changeup from Houston Street.
Padres took the last 2 of a 4-game series from Washington, coming into tonight for the first of 3 against the Cardinals, and they lead this one 4-2. Well, you watch John Baker and Nick Hundley work back there.
You got to want to get dirty, right?
Tough life as a catcher.
Anticipating that ball in the dirt. He blocked that ball with 2 strikes because if you swing and miss, it's a live baseball. You got to keep it in front of you. You either make the tag or throw down to first base for the putout.
Craig laces this one to Norfia, diving catch. What a play! Holy moly! Krista Norfia. Well, it looked like a yard sale out there as equipment was going to start flying off of him. Look at him come in and make this play.
And a couple of things there. If that ball gets by him, it's extra bases. The tying run comes to the plate. He'll put an end to that right now.
Here's Yadier Molina.
So that might be a web gem. I'm calling web gem right there.
Got a couple of great ones tonight. Krista Norfia. Carl's Jr. star of the game. We gave it to him for his offensive work. And an extra burger from Carl's with that great diving play. Little tapper back to Houston. Underhands to Alonso. 2 down. Time now for the Firestone Extra Mile Index. Most stolen bases this season. Yeah, the Cardinals are at 29. Not our concern. Padres. Numero uno.
Hey, you know what's funny? I was talking to Dave Roberts before that interview on the pregame show. And he said, "Come on, we lead in stolen bases? Wow. We got some guys who know what they're doing on the base paths." I said, "Yes, you do, Doctor."
John Jay looks at strike 1 with 2 outs as Houston Street tries to shut the door on a 4-2 ball game. Everybody chipping in on this one. Jay with 2 hits in the evening and a strikeout in the 4th. This ball hit to left, and Chris Denorfia is under it, and that will do it. Houston Street picks up his 11th save of the season. 4-2, Padres win. When we come